Hey, friendo, Steve here. Welcome back to the channel. It's time to issue out some grades to Backlash. That's right. It was a wildly fun show. I really enjoyed Backlash. It was fun watching it with a bunch of you over the Going and Raw stuff. But here at WrestleJuice, we do the letter grades, of course, based on the American public system, for better or worse. So it's going to go from an A+ to an F. I'll give you a little spoiler alert. Nothing got an F on this show. Everybody passed, so I'm sure everybody's relieved about that. Let's dive into it. The first match we're going to talk about today is Bianca Belair versus Iyo Sky. Man, oh man, number one, this crowd deserves an A+ through and through throughout the entire show. The crowd gets an A+, but we're rating these matches. We're grading these matches, not the crowd. The crowd was firmly behind Iyo Sky, which is really interesting in this match. But I'll be honest, I thought this was a phenomenal match. I gave this match an A because it totally deserved it. Hot way to start the show. And of course, Bayley coming down to Cody begging her, don't go down there. Io's got this wrapped up. She's good. Iyo goes up for the moonsault. Bayley tries to cheat a little bit, gets caught, costs Iyo Sky those precious moments to hit that moonsault. And Bianca Belair, who did a terrific job selling the arm injury, or getting her arm worked rather, hit the KOD on Iyo Sky to get the win here. I give this a solid A, like I said. Really, really terrific stuff. The crowd was super into it. They helped elevate this match, but I'm really looking forward to Iyo Sky's solo run. I think it's going to be phenomenal, and it looks like she'll probably end up feuding with Bayley to kick that off, which is always a good thing. Let's go ahead and dive into the next match of the night. Of course, that's Seth Rollins versus Omos. Far and away, and I know this isn't saying much, but far and away, this was the best match of Omos's career. It was by far, I think, the longest match of his career, and I thought it was as good as possible from Omos, who obviously is a bit limited in the ring with what he can do. Seth Rollins, unlimited in the ring with what he can do, and he brought Omos to a really terrific match, a really fun match. I gave this a solid B. I don't know if Omos is ever going to be the guy who's going to get an A grade out of me for a match unless there's something that has huge emotional stakes to it. At this point, he's still Giant who crushes everybody in theory until he gets to a big match. From now on, though, Omos, he needs to go on a streak of feuds where he actually gets the win. I don't know what his ceiling is. Generally speaking, promoters don't know how to properly book giants like this. At least they haven't since like the 1990s or so. If this was the 1980s or 1970s, or my God, the 1960s, Omos would probably break Bruno's record. However, it's a different time. It's just a different wrestler is sort of the one that succeeds. Omos, I'm not sure what his ceiling is, but if you give him 3 solid feuds with really good opponents, I'm talking about like maybe Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, somebody else, and Omos comes out on the winning end of those feuds, guys who can afford to take a loss, then maybe he can make his way up to Roman Reigns. I mean, after all, Omos is a free agent, so he can kind of go wherever he wants. And then, of course, he'd lose to Roman Reigns, and I don't know where he goes from there. I've just booked out his entire next year or so. Yeah, I give this one, what do I give this one? I gave this one a B. I think it's a solid B. Like I said, not sure if Omos is going to get an A out of me, but you never know. Stranger things have happened. Let's move on. Next up, the U.S. title match. Bronson Reed versus Bobby Lashley versus Austin Theory. The thing that I love about this match is that over at Going in Raw, Larson had heard that this match, the finish to this match, was exactly being played out on the house show circuit. This is not an uncommon thing, but like this was sort of a foregone conclusion. Austin Theory winning this match. I gave this a C. The thing is, this match had nothing really going for it coming into it. Given that Reed and Lashley had both been drafted away from each other, I fully expect them to make an exception to the roster split this week, though, because they have to give Lashley and Reed like a proper final match, right? With like a decisive winner. Like they got to do that, I think. In any event, I give this a C. It just felt like a foregone conclusion. The crowd was kind of into it, but you could tell that there wasn't a whole lot of investment in this match. Kind of a big nothing burger. So I give it a C. Nothing against these opponents. It's just it didn't do anything to further anybody. It didn't do anything to make anybody look good. It just sort of existed. It did nothing for anybody because it just sort of was there. Anyways, I give this a C. Next up, Oh, man, Rhea Ripley versus Zelina Vega. Probably the highlight of this match was before the match even started during the introductions. That awesome Puerto Rico crowd gave Zelina Vega big standing ovation, of course. She is Puerto Rican in descent, and she's absolutely, I mean, this was phenomenal. I enjoyed the simplicity of the build. It was simply, hey, I want to have a big match in Puerto Rico, and she delivered. I gave this match a B, probably under normal circumstances. If this was a match just sort of on SmackDown or Raw or whatever, it would have been given a lesser grade because they only gave it like 7 minutes. Was not a very long match. Rhea Ripley just sort of hit a riptide out of nowhere, but they did let Zelina Vega get plenty of her shit in, so to speak. And the emotion of the match, the moment itself, I thought elevated the match to B territory. The moment where she got the standing ovation, of course, was an A+. Otherwise, again, just seemed like sort of a foregone conclusion. Nobody really thought Rhea Ripley had any chance at losing this. And I feel like if they had given this match an extra 5 minutes, maybe they could have gone that route. Maybe they could have gone the route of, hey, let's make Zelina come off like she might actually pull off this huge underdog victory. And I never, ever got that sense in this match. So, yeah, I gave it a B. I think that's a pretty good grade, all things considered. Let's move on to the next match, which was, of course, Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest. Look, man, I see a lot of the people online saying this match should have main evented, and guess what? You're right. This match totally should have main evented. This match was phenomenal. I gave this match an A+. That's right, the highest grade possible. I love this, man. Hats off to Damian Priest for carrying this match. Hats off to Bad Bunny for not just understanding how to do like wrestling moves, but understanding how to sell, understanding the psychology of a match, understanding like the drama and the timing that goes into a big high pressure match like this. He's like the biggest pop star on the planet. And he's in here, you know, doing Canadian destroyers and taking these huge moves, off of a thing onto another thing from Damian Priest for all the weapon spots. Man, this was actually a pretty brutal match. And of course, he had all the overbooking stuff with Carlito coming in, Savio Vega, geared towards this crowd to make this crowd explode. And it translates through the TV or the computer monitor, however you're watching this thing, or the phone or tablet or whatever. Man, I can't say enough good things about this match. It's up there with my match of the year candidates for the year so far. Don't think it's going to win, but man, oh man, A+, 1,000% an A+. Loved this match. This absolutely should have made it. It's kind of weird they didn't have this main event, but maybe Brock has it in his contract. Who knows? Anyways, awesome match. A+. Hats off to everybody involved in this match, behind the scenes and in front of the camera. Phenomenal stuff. Let's move on to the Bloodline versus Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Matt Riddle. Of course, all the drama within the Bloodline helped elevate this match because really this match was all about, is Solo and the Usos going to implode? Is this going to blow up in front of our faces? And it kind of did, even though the Bloodline got the win here. It was all in the back of Solo Sikoa because the Usos just can't get their shit together and they can't get on the same page as Solo Sikoa. And this was a difficult match for these guys to have to follow the match that we just got, which should have been the main event. I gave this match a solid, what did I give this? I gave this a B+ because it's to the first half of this match was kind of, I don't know, again, emotionally speaking, we just went through that big thing with Bad Bunny. So it's really nothing on the participants, but you got to grade the match, which you're going to grade it. And so I gave it a B+. I thought that if this had main evented like a Raw or something like that, or had maybe a different placement in the pay-per-view, if this had kicked off the pay-per-view, maybe it would have been elevated, but the crowd was still coming down from the match prior to it, but it really picked up in the end. So I gave it a B+, not quite an A, but I thought it was really good stuff. The highlight of this match, of course, is when Solo Sikoa really wanted to give the Samoan Spike to Jey Uso. He thought it was somebody else, realized it was Jey, and was like, yeah, I still want to do that. Phenomenal match, though. Really good stuff. Gave it a B+. And I thought that was a pretty good grade for them. Anyways, moving on to our main event. We had Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. I gave this match a B-, because it was kind of weird. And Brock Lesnar matches are just weird these days. It's like he's got, I understand the guy has some degree of creative control. When I say some degree, I think he just does what he wants to do. But it's like he doesn't want to take a loss in a normal way against people who aren't Roman Reigns. He took 2 crossroads, kicked out. Cody took an F5, and kicked out of that. Brock bled, but it was just sort of weird. And I get the feeling they're probably going to carry this on maybe to a couple more matches. Maybe they'll interweave this feud into the World Heavyweight Championship thing. I don't know, but I suspect that Cody Rhodes escaping with a weird roll-up win over Brock Lesnar isn't how this is going to finish up. It feels like the personal battle here stemming from Brock attacking Cody, which we still don't know why he did. It'd be nice to get some sort of motivation as to why Brock turned on Cody in the first place on the Raw after Mania. Excuse me as I pick my eye. So we still don't even have motivation there. It's as if Brock is just there for Cody to try to get a win over him, to show that he's as good as Roman Reigns. So I gave this a B-. I thought the blood with Brock was a cool bit. I thought that was a cool moment. There was the formulaic Suplex City moment, Brock kicking out of finishers, Cody kicking out of a finisher. And then the way Brock loses these days is sort of by getting sort of caught off guard. In this case, it was Cody with the roll-up, but that really doesn't speak to me in terms of like, oh, Cody wanted to get one on Brock. I know he attacked Brock before the bell and got the jump on him, but like, I don't know. He just sort of got this roll-up and then ran away. I don't know if this is really the end of this feud. If it is, it's weird. If it's not, it's a great first chapter. So I'm going to give this a B- for now. And then hopefully we'll get more of this where Cody gets like a definitive, decisive win over Brock Lesnar, maybe in a third match. And in the second match, Brock Lesnar just goes to town on Cody Rhodes and gives him the old John Cena treatment from 2014. Maybe that'll be the situation. I don't know. But it'll be interesting to see where they go from here. If this feud continues, anybody's guess. I don't know. I guess we'll find out on Raw. So anyways, that is it. That's going to do it for all the grades that they got there at Backlash. Terrific show. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments below of all these matches. What grades would you give out? Let me know. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate it. Check out this video over here and sub to that channel. Hit that like button. See you over there.